Śrī Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Śrī Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Śrī Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita ki Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai Om Ajnanatirmirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Śrī Caitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Viṣṇoḥ kṛṣṇa-prema-sevā-phalera Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, dear devotees. I welcome you to today's Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita session. Today is April 23rd, 2026, and we are reading from Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 9. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's travels to the holy places in South India. So Mahaprabhu is in Udupi now, and he noticed that the worshippers in Udupi, who were Tattvavadi philosophers, the Tattvavadi philosophers, worshippers in Udupi, they actually, Mahaprabhu detected that they had some pride of being a devotee in their hearts. They had the pride of being a devotee. So Mahaprabhu engaged them in a discussion. And the leader, the acharya of that mutt, so this is in Udupi, the mutt in Udupi, the monastery of Srila Madhvacharya. So the leader, the acharya of the Tattvavadi philosophers there, who was very learned in all the scriptures, Mahaprabhu, in a very humble way, questioned him. So he started a discussion. So he said that in a very humble way, he said that I don't know very well about the goal of life and how to achieve it. I don't have a good grip on this subject. I don't know it so well. Can you kindly explain to me what is the goal of life? What is the highest? He asked, what is the highest goal of life and what is the best means to achieve it? So in reply to that, the Acharya said, the best sadhana, the best practice for the devotees of Krishna is doing your varnashrama dharma and offering it to Krishna, kṛṣṇa-prema-sevā-phalera. This is the best means. This is the best sadhana. You do your particular varnashrama dharma and then you offer that to Krishna, the result to Krishna. And by doing this, what will you get? You'll get the highest result, which is the 5 types of liberation in Vaikuntha. You'll go to Vaikuntha and get one of the 5 types of liberation. And this is the highest result. What are the 5 types of liberation? Salokya, going to the same planet as the Lord. Sarupya, getting the same form as the Lord. Samipya, getting close proximity on the same planet, but also in proximity with the Lord. Sarshti, getting the same opulences as the Lord. And Sayujya, merging into the body of the Lord. Yeah, or merging into Brahman effulgence. So these are the 5 types of liberation. And he said this is the highest goal of life. So now we will see what was Mahaprabhu's response to this. Did he approve this or not? So 358 or 258. So Mahaprabhu said, Prabhu kahe, śāstre kahe, śravaṇa-kīrtana, kṛṣṇa-prema-sevā-phalera, parama-sādhana. So what did Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu say? Prabhu kahe, śāstre kahe, śravaṇa-kīrtana, kṛṣṇa-prema-sevā-phalera, parama-sādhana. So now Mahaprabhu saying, what is the actual sadhana which is recommended in Shastra, the real sadhana for all human beings, and what is the highest result? He's saying, the Shastras are saying, śravaṇa-kīrtana is parama-sādhana, the supreme. So there are different types of activities we can do. We can do karma, we can do jnana, and we can do, this karma and offer it to the Lord, karma-arpanam. So many things we can do, activities. But what is the supreme activity that we can do, we should do? Shastra is saying śravana and kirtana, hearing the names, form, qualities and pastimes of the Supreme Lord, and singing or chanting the names, forms, pastimes and qualities of the Supreme Lord. This is the topmost practice, Shastra is saying. Mahaprabhu is telling this Acharya. And by doing this, what is the highest result you'll get? Going to Vaikuntha and getting liberation? No. kṛṣṇa-prema-sevā-phalera parama-sādhana. So what is the highest result that you get as this sadhana of Śravaṇa-kīrtana? You'll get love for Krishna. So the Acharya said, doing varnashrama dharma and offering that result to the Lord is the highest practice, sadhana. And by doing that, that is the best practice. By doing this, the highest result achievable is you will get liberation, 5 types of liberation in Vaikuntha. Then Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu said, but Shastras say Śravaṇa-kīrtana is the best practice and the highest result is love of Godhead. Like that. Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu said, according to the verdict of the Shastras, the process of hearing and chanting is the best means to attain loving service to Krishna. Purport. According to the Tattvavadis, the best process for achieving the highest goal of life is to execute the duties of the 4 varnas and ashrams. This is what the Tattvavadis who are worshipping Udupi Krishna in Udupi, they said. They were Vaishnavas following in the line of Srila Madhvacharya, a different line, but coming in the line of Sri Madhvacharya. They said, or their leader said, the best practice is doing your varnashrama dharma, duties of 4 varnas and ashramas. In the material world, unless, so now Srila Prabhupada is explaining why he said that. In the material world, unless one is situated in one of the varnas, namely Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra, one cannot manage social affairs properly to attain the ultimate goal. So the purpose of following these 4 varnas is not just so that you can live, happily in this world. That's not the only goal. That is there, certainly. Affairs can be managed, social affairs can be managed properly. But really the goal is attaining the ultimate goal of life, which is Krishna Prema. It's not that by following Varnashrama Dharma, you'll get the ultimate goal of life, you'll get Krishna Prema. You don't get. Mahaprabhu will make that clear. But following Varnashrama Dharma itself will not give you Krishna Prema. Only śravaṇa-kīrtana will give you Krishna Prema. But when there is varnashrama dharma, there's a proper organization of society and everyone is engaged in his duties, they will be in the mode of goodness. So when you are in the mode of goodness, like we were hearing yesterday, when you are in the mode of goodness, then you can actually engage in śravaṇaṁ-kīrtanam properly. Peacefully you can hear. But if you are in the modes of passion and ignorance, you won't be able to do śravaṇaṁ. It is śravaṇaṁ and kīrtanam only which is going to give you Krishna Prema. But to do that śravaṇaṁ-kīrtanam properly, you will, if you are in the mode of goodness, it will help you like that. Also, of course, mode of goodness is not that to do śravaṇaṁ-kīrtanam properly. Again, why varnashrama dharma is until you come into pure devotional service. Once you come into pure devotional service, that means you're doing śravaṇaṁ-kīrtanam 24 hours, then it does not matter. It is not that śravaṇaṁ-kīrtanam is dependent on your external situation. We shouldn't think like that. If you got that faith that this is all I have to do, you can do it anywhere. No problem. You can do in hell also. But before you get that firm faith, you need proper atmosphere. Just like when you plant a seed in the soil, it just germinates and small sapling comes out. It's very tender. You need to fence it nicely. You need to give it a proper atmosphere to grow. And once it grows and becomes strong, becomes a tree, then you don't need, then no animals can do anything, or, it is now strong like that. So when you get your Dhrida Shraddha, then you are strong like that. At that time, wherever you are put, your bhakti will continue. But before you get Dhrida Shraddha, you need this varnashrama situation, because that will be in the mode of goodness. But at the same time, we shouldn't think simply by following varnashrama dharma, we are going to get the ultimate goal of life. That is also not correct. So we should understand properly, not that, simply varnashrama, 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 and then there's no importance to chanting. No. The purpose of varnashrama, like Srila Prabhupada is saying here in this line, unless one is situated in one of the varnas, one cannot manage social affairs properly to attain the ultimate goal. So the goal is Krishna Prema. Varnashrama is like a stepping stone. One also has to follow the principles of the ashramas, brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha and sannyas. So when you say varna and ashrama, varnashrama means 4 varnas and 4 ashramas. Brahman, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra are the 4 varnas. Brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyas are the 4 ashramas. 4 ashramas are in one person's life. 4 varnas are in a society. The whole society is divided into 4 groups like that. One also has to follow the principles of the ashramas, since these principles are considered essential for the attainment of the highest goal. We don't have this system in the present society, isn't it? There is no ashram system, and whatever little, at least there was just some marriage, was one ashram that was being maintained. I don't know if that is even a thing nowadays. But that is not good. It will not help in achieving the highest goal of life. In this way, the Tattvavadis establish that the execution of the principles of Varna and Ashram for the sake of Krishna is the best way to attain the topmost goal. The Tattvavadis thus establish their principles in terms of human society. Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu, however, differed when he said that the best process is hearing and chanting about Lord Vishnu. So, when the Tattvavadis said that the best way for attaining the topmost goal is practicing Varnashrama Dharma, and the highest goal, they said, is to get 5 types of liberation, isn't it? So is that really the highest goal? No, but even that's why Daiva Varnashrama is different from simply performing Varnashrama duties. Daiva Varnashrama means you are following Varnashrama duties, but your goal is not just getting liberation by following Varnashrama duties. The goal of the members of a Daiva Varnashrama community is pure devotional service. The goal is to get love of Krishna, not just getting liberation. So in yesterday's session, we discussed about, who will get liberation, and liberation doesn't mean getting love of Godhead. Liberation doesn't mean, 5 types of mukti, salokya, sarupya, samipya, doesn't mean that you're engaged in service. No, it doesn't mean like that. So that is not our goal. So Srila Prabhupada is saying, see, Srila Prabhupada is explaining to us the importance of Varnashrama in this purport, because Mahaprabhu is going to just, he did already. He said, but Shastra is saying the highest goal is love of Godhead, and the best means is śravaṇaṁ and kīrtanam. How are you saying that the goal of life is getting liberation and the means is karmarpanam? Like that, isn't it? But Srila Prabhupada is explaining from the Tattvavadi side why Varnashrama duties are important. So he's explaining from their side also. They are saying that the Tattvavadis established their principles in terms of human society, because the society has to be organized properly. So they said in terms of human society. Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu, however, differed from them when he said that the best process is hearing and chanting about Viṣṇu. According to the Tattvavadis, the highest goal is returning home back to Godhead. See? But in Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu's opinion, the highest goal is attaining love of Godhead. See? Tattvavadis are saying the highest goal is going back to Godhead. Mahaprabhu didn't agree with that. He said the highest goal is attaining love of Godhead. In either the material world or the spiritual world, it doesn't matter. We are all followers of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu or not. So Mahaprabhu is not saying going back to Godhead is the goal. He's saying getting love for Krishna is the goal. It does not matter whether you're in the material world or spiritual world or hell or heaven. It doesn't matter. Our goal is to get love of God. In the material world, this is practiced according to shastric injunction, and in the spiritual world, the real achievement is already there. So according to shastric injunction means Vaidhi, according to rules and regulations. So in the material world, we practice this. What do we practice? Sadhana bhakti. And then by doing sadhana bhakti, we get bhava, and then we get prema. So in the material world, you are aspiring and you're working towards the goal of love of Godhead by following Vaidhi according to shastric injunction. Vaidhi sadhana bhakti we do. Not that everyone in the material world is doing Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. Some people can do raganuga sadhana bhakti also. Of course, there also it is following Shastra only. It is not that without following Shastra. However, you're not following the rules and regulations. There, what you follow is you follow in the footsteps. In Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, you follow in the footsteps of a devotee who is already in the spiritual world. Raganuga, Ragatmika devotee, you follow. So all that happens when you're in advanced stages of life, So advanced stages of not life, advanced stages of devotion. Then you'll meet an appropriate spiritual master who guides you, a Ragatmika spiritual master who guides you, like that. But in general, in the material world, this devotional service, what is that devotional service? Primarily, it is śravaṇaṁ-kīrtanam. According to shastric injunction, that means Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. And then what happens in the spiritual world? There also they are doing bhakti. But the real achievement is already there. What is the real achievement? They have love of Godhead. Here we are working towards love of Godhead. There they already have love of Godhead. So Mahaprabhu said that no, Shastras are saying the best means is śravaṇaṁ-kīrtanam and the highest goal is kṛṣṇa-prema. And then Mahaprabhu is substantiating it from Shastra. śravaṇaṁ-kīrtanam viṣṇoḥ smaraṇaṁ pāda-sevanam arcanam vandanaṁ dāsyaṁ sakhyam ātma-nivedanam iti puṁsārpitā viṣṇau bhaktiś nava-lakṣaṇā kriyeta bhagavatyadha tanmanyedhitam uttamam. So this is Prahlad Maharaj telling his father about the best thing that he learned in school. This process entails hearing, chanting, and remembering the holy name, form, pastimes, qualities. Hearing, chanting, remembering, name, form, pastimes, qualities of the Supreme Lord. This process entails hearing, chanting, and remembering the holy name, form, pastimes, qualities, and entourage of the Lord. Offering service according to the time, place, and performer. That means Desha Kala Patra. Offering service according to the time, place, and performer. Worshipping the deity, arcanaṁ. Offering prayers, vandanaṁ. Always considering oneself the eternal servant of Krishna, dāsyaṁ. Making friends with him and dedicating everything to him. That means sakhyam and ātma-nivedanam. These 9 items of devotional service, when directly offered to Krishna, constitute the highest attainment of life. This is the verdict of the revealed scriptures. So, Mahaprabhu said, but Shastras say that śravaṇa-kīrtana is the highest goal of life. And then Mahaprabhu, not goal, highest sadhana, the best sadhana. And then Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu is quoting this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 7, 5, 23 and 24. So these are Prahlad Maharaj's 7, 5 is Prahlad Maharaj's instructions to his friends. One second. So he's speaking to his father only, but yeah. Okay. Then Mahaprabhu saying, śravaṇa-kīrtana hoite Krishna hoye prema, sei pancama purusartha, purusartha sima. So we know of 4 purusarthas, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, generally. That means you do your duty. Dharma means varnashrama dharma, according to your nature. If you are identified, recognized by the Guru as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, then you perform your duty as a Brahmana. That is dharma. By that you earn your artha. And with that artha, you can enjoy sense gratification as much as it is sanctioned in śāstras, the way it is sanctioned in śāstras. And then at one point you give up all this sense gratification and then you work towards attaining liberation, moksha. So you take vanaprastha ashram, after grihastha, vanaprastha, right? And then after vanaprastha, if you're a Brahmana, you can take sannyas also. And then ultimately get moksha. So we think these 4 are purusarthas. But actually, there is a 5th one. And the 5th one is prema. Kṛṣṇa-prema. That is the highest purusartha. Bhakti. So, śravaṇa-kīrtana hoite Krishna hoye prema. When you do śravaṇaṁ kīrtanam, then you get prema. By doing dharma and offering that to Krishna, you don't get prema. So Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu is saying, śravaṇa-kīrtana hoite Krishna hoye prema, say pancama purusartha, purusarthera sima. That is the limit of purusartha. There is nothing higher than Kṛṣṇa-prema. Getting prema, love of Godhead, that is the highest achievable goal. There is nothing beyond that. That's the highest. When one comes to the platform of loving service to Lord Krishna, by executing these 9 processes, beginning with hearing and chanting, he has attained the 5th platform of success and the limit of life's goals. When one comes to the platform of loving service to Lord Krishna, that means you get prema, loving, prema, Kṛṣṇa-prema. By executing the 9 processes, that means śravaṇaṁ kīrtanam, by doing this, when you come to the platform of loving Krishna, right? What are these 9 processes? Beginning with hearing and chanting. So when he gets love of Godhead, he has attained the 5th platform of success, purusartha, right? The 5th. And the limit of life's goals. There's nothing higher than that. Everyone is after success in religion, economic development, sense gratification, and ultimately merging into the existence of Brahman. Everyone wants success in every field. These are the general practices of the common man. But according to the strict principles of the Vedas, the highest attainment is to rise to the platform of śravaṇaṁ-kīrtana. Simply doing your dharma, artha, kama and aspiring for moksha is not all. There's higher than that. When you come to the platform of śravaṇaṁ-kīrtanam, hearing and chanting about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then that is the highest attainment. And by doing that, so that is the highest practice. By doing that, when you actually develop love, that is why in one verse, in the second canto, second chapter, last verse, 37th verse, Sukadeva Goswami is saying, the previous verse, 36th verse is talking about pure devotional service, doing śravaṇaṁ-kīrtanam. But the next verse, 37th verse says, they start drinking. That means now, so when you're doing sadhana bhakti, śravaṇaṁ-kīrtanam means you're hearing with your ears. Śravaṇam is done by hearing. But when you come to bhava-prema-bhakti, when you get love of Godhead, there you're not hearing. Śravaṇam is going on there also, but there you're not hearing. There it is said you're drinking. What does that mean? Drinking means you're actually tasting. You're tasting the nectar. Like, Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam sukamukad amrita drava samyutam pibata. Pibata means drink. Srila Vyasadeva is inviting everyone. Drink. Pibata bhagavatam. Drink this bhagavatam. That means who will drink? Those who got love, they will be drinking this bhagavatam. Before that, we will be hearing bhagavatam. So, drink that bhagavatam he is inviting. Pibata bhagavatam. Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam shukamukhad amrita drava samyutam pibata bhagavatam muhuraho. Muhu means again and again you drink. Aho, oh, rasikaha. Rasikaha means those who are expert in tasting. You have people, right, who are very expert in tasting. So like that, they can taste different and they can tell which is the purest, which is the best, which has the highest taste. So rasikaha means those who are experts in tasting. Tasting what? Tasting Krishna's names, Krishna's qualities, Krishna's pastimes. So, Sukadeva Goswami is not inviting only us, he's inviting even Rasikaha. Because this Bhagavatam is not just meant for those who are diseased in this material world. Of course, it's meant for us. For those who are diseased, then it acts as a medicine to treat that disease. And after your disease is treated, then you'll actually drink it, you'll taste it, you'll relish it. So he's inviting everyone. Actually, who will be able to relish this Bhagavatam? Those Rasikaha who don't have any of these conditionings and also, they got love. They will actually be able to taste. So he's saying, come, drink. Pibata Bhagavatam rasam alayam. Rasam alayam, right? This is rasam. That means there is no skin and there is no seed. Mango is considered to be the king of all fruits. So imagine a mango which does not have a skin and no seed. Simply pulp, simply rasam. You just keep drinking that mango like that. So, Pibata Bhagavatam rasam alayam. Rasam alayam. Alayam matlab, kab tak you should drink? Until what time you should drink? Until you faint. Drinking, that it is so much ecstasy, you just faint in ecstasy. And then when you come out of that swoon, right? When you come out of your ecstasy, when you once again come back to consciousness, keep drinking again. So there's no stopping. Drink. And by drinking that, when you faint, because after that you're not conscious of what you will drink. So you drink. And then as soon as you come back to consciousness, keep drinking again. That means there's no stopping like that. Or sometimes it is understood as you drink until liberation. Alayam. So alayam means the end. So what is the end, right? By drinking, if you just faint in ecstasy that you're not able to hear or drink anything until then. And then when you come back, again you start drinking like that. So Srimad Bhagavatam is drunk, right? By those who have love of Godhead. The point that is being said is that Bhagavatam is for everyone. Whether you are conditioned, whether you are full of, you're diseased with the material disease. You have lust, anger, greed and all these things. Take to Srimad Bhagavatam. Take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Here, śravaṇaṁ and kīrtanam. You hear and you sing. Hear and chant the glories from Srimad Bhagavatam. So, that is the highest. That is the highest purushartha. And by doing this, when you get prema, what do you do after you get prema? Then also you will be hearing, but there you will be tasting. That is the point. So everyone is after success in every field. But these are general practices of common man. But according to the strict principles of the Vedas, the highest attainment is to rise to the platform of śravaṇaṁ-kīrtanam, hearing and chanting about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when you say the highest attainment means, yes, even in sadhana bhakti, when you are hearing chanting, that is also the highest attainment. But within that also, the highest is when by doing that you get love of Krishna. And that also, prema also, it's not like that's dead end. There is no dead end in devotional life. Even when you go to spiritual life, spiritual world, that love keeps increasing. There's no limit. Anandam buddhi vardhanam. This is an ocean of ananda which is always increasing, ever increasing. There is no limit. But still, even if you come to the point of always chanting and hearing, that is the highest pancama purusartha. That is the highest attainment of the 4 purusarthas. You want success in life? What is the best success? If you can always be doing śravaṇaṁ-kīrtanam, this is the highest success. Who's saying? Shastras are saying. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam 112. Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaraṇaṁ satam vedyam vastavam atra vastu shivadam tapatrayon mūlanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni krite kimba parairishvaraha. That means if there is Srimad Bhagavatam, which is given in the maturity of the sage Vyasdev. That means he's given it after Vedanta Sutras. This is the final offering of Vyasdev, Srimad Bhagavatam. Kimba parair Ishwaraha sadhyo. That means Kimba parair. If you have the Srimad Bhagavatam, what is the need of anything else? By hearing this, Ishwaraha sadhyo hridyavarudyate. As soon as you hear, immediately he will come and he will be established in your heart. Sadhyo means immediately. Hridyavarudyate. He will come and he will be established in your heart. Atra kritibihi shushrushabis tadkshanat. Kritibihi. That means those who are, those who don't have any offenses, when they hear Srimad Bhagavatam, immediately, kritibihi means people who have no offenses, then immediately by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, instantly, like you see Ajamil, in Ajamil's case, once he chanted Narayana, just the first time he chanted Narayana, calling out his son's name, then immediately all his sins were removed. And after that, every time he was chanting Narayana, that is pure devotional service. That means it was not, because there were no offenses, then whatever he was chanting, that was chanting in purity. So instantly the Lord will be established in his heart. So there's more discussion there about Ajamil than why he's still continuing his sinful activities. But he's doing that because Bhakti Maharani is hiding her glory. So externally it looks like he's doing sinful activities, but actually those sinful actions, their reactions were not touching him at all. His sins are all finished. That is why the proof of this is Vishnudutas came. Vishnudutas arrived. At the time of giving up his body, he uttered the name Narayana. That itself is the proof. If you are able to remember the Lord at the moment of giving up your body, that means all your offenses are finished. That means now, you don't have to take birth again in this world. If at the moment of your death, you're able to remember the Supreme Lord, or chant his name, or hear his name. Ajamil did that. How was he able to do that? That means all his sins were finished. Before itself, they were finished. Like that. So like that we understand. So sadhyo hridyava rudyatetra kritibi shushrushabis tatshanat. That means if though kritibihi, like people who don't have any offenses, if they hear the Srimad Bhagavatam just once, as soon as they hear, immediately the Lord is established in their heart. Shushrushabis tatshanat. That means immediately the Lord establishes tatshanat. That second, the second when they hear Srimad Bhagavatam, then immediately the Lord will come and he will establish in the heart of that devotee, that person. This is the potency of Srimad Bhagavatam. But the condition is you have to be without any offenses. And if you have offenses, then this hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam is helping in clearing those offenses. It's acting that way also. So we don't have any other path. This is the only way. Completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated, this Bhagavad Purana propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. Those devotees who are fully pure in heart, they can actually really relish rasikaha, right? They are relishing this. So this Bhagavatam propounds the highest truth. What is the highest truth? Pure devotional service. But who is able to understand this? Those who are completely pure in heart. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. What is the highest truth? It is the reality, absolute truth, which is distinguished from illusion. Material existence. This is illusion. The highest truth is the absolute truth, which is different from this relative material world and materialistic life. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. And this is presented in Srimad Bhagavatam. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. You hear this all the time. You know, everyone is suffering threefold miseries. This is material existence, no doubt. Whether individually, in a family, in a community, in the country, in the world, everybody is suffering. But there is only one solution. The thing is, people are not taking to the real solution. The solution is just sit down and hear Srimad Bhagavatam, read Srimad Bhagavatam, hear the glories of the Lord. Morning, noon, and evening, just keep hearing about Bhagavatam. That will uproot the threefold miseries. With faith, just hear Srimad Bhagavatam. All these problems in the world, people fighting, right? Wars and all that. Just call all the leaders, make them sit down and let them hear Srimad Bhagavatam. All problems will be solved. But the thing is, we don't have faith. But the solution is right here. Leaving this on the material, hovering on the material mental platform, people are looking for so many solutions. It's never going to work out. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva, is sufficient in itself for God realization. Kimba parain. What is the use of any other scripture? This one scripture is sufficient for God realization. What is the need of any other scripture? As soon as one attentively and submissively, of course, your mood is important. As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within his heart. This verse of Srimad Bhagavatam rejects as cheating processes all religious activities that aim at achieving materialistic goals. Even dharma, artha, kama is rejected. What to speak of all adharma and vikarma that we are doing in the world. Bhagavatam rejects all that. Kaitava dharma, no need. Srimad Bhagavatam rejects as cheating processes all religious activities that aim at achieving materialistic goals, including dharma, artha, kama, and even moksha or liberation. According to Sridhar Swami, the material conception of success, moksha or liberation, is desired by those in material existence. Who desires moksha? Because the Acharya of Tattvavadi said 5 types of liberation. That is the highest goal. According to Sridhar Swami, this moksha is desired by those in material existence. Devotees, however, not being situated in material existence, have no desire for liberation. Because devotees, even though in this material world, they are not in material existence. They are not in material existence. They are not doing devotional service to get out of the miseries of the material world. That's the beauty. We are doing devotional service to please Krishna, or we should be doing devotional service to please Krishna. If we are aspirants of pure devotional service, we should try to do devotional service simply to please Krishna. So the devotees who are doing like this, they are not in material existence. Those who are in material existence, they aspire for liberation. I'm tired of this material suffering. I want to become free from this material suffering. So moksha is aspired, desired by those who are in material existence. Devotees are not in material existence, so they have no desire for liberation. That's why in the previous purport, Srila Prabhupada said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, he said, no, going back home, back to Godhead is not our goal. Our goal is love of Krishna. It doesn't matter whether we are in the material world or spiritual world. A devotee is always liberated in all stages of life because he is always engaged in the 9 items of devotional service, śravaṇaṁ, kīrtanam, etc. Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu's philosophy holds that devotional service to Krishna always exists in everyone's heart. It simply has to be awakened by the process of śravaṇaṁ, kīrtanam, viṣṇoḥ. Śravanādi shuddha chitte koraye uday. When a person is actually engaged in devotional service, his eternal relationship with the Lord, the servant-master relationship is awakened. So you have to understand this properly, that Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy holds that devotional service to Krishna always exists in everyone's heart. This is explained with an example by His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj like this. You take a banyan tree. The banyan tree has fruits, small fruits, you've seen, like figs. And in that fruit, there are so many seeds. Every seed of that banyan tree, that seed has a banyan tree inside that. Yes or no? Does the seed of the banyan tree have a banyan tree? Yes, it has. However, for that tree in that seed to manifest, that seed should get a proper environment. It should fall inside the earth, in the soil, and when it gets the proper environment, then from that seed, a big banyan tree is coming. Now, does it mean when you say that the seed has a banyan tree in it, does it mean that the seed once upon a time had a tree inside it? Right now, it is hidden and it is not being seen. Does it mean like that? No. It means it has that potential. That seed has the capacity to grow into a big banyan tree. That banyan tree, it has everything inside it to become a big banyan tree. It is there in it. It has that capacity. However, for it to actually become a banyan tree, it needs the proper association, which is proper environment. Similarly, all the conditioned souls or any living entity, when you say, the conditioned soul also included, the living entities here, that bhakti for Krishna is there in the heart means we have that potential. We have that potential like that banyan seed to become a big banyan tree. That tree is there. Everything that is needed, right? We have that potential to be pure devotees of Krishna. In fact, that is our constitutional position. We are meant, like the constitutional position of that seed is what? Is that seed meant to go and what? What can I say? Is the seeds, what do you say? Is the seed meant to fly in the sky? Is the seed meant to, prepare rice dal sabji? Is that seed meant to go and sit in the classroom and study ABCD? No. What is the seed meant for? It is meant to become a big tree. That's what that seed, that's the constitutional position of the seed. That seed is there so that it can grow into another tree. Like that, the living entity, its constitutional position of the living entity is to be a devotee. Dāsya bhūto harehe. Dāsya bhūta. Dāsya bhūta means it has that potential. Just as every citizen of America, I guess whoever was born in America, like by birth, every citizen of America has the potential to become the president of America. That means you can contend, but you need the proper atmosphere, meaning you have to take the steps to do that. But by birth, you have that potential, you can become the president of America. But just because you have that potential, you cannot say that everyone is the president of America. No, only those who qualify after going through the tests, etc., when they finally, by getting proper environment, when one passes the tests, one person becomes the president. Like that. All living entities, all souls have the potential. And that is their constitutional position to be the devotee of Krishna, the Supreme Lord. What is the proper environment? Association. Association of devotees. And the type of association you get, you can only come to that level. If you get the association of a pure devotee, then this living entity can also grow into a pure devotee. If you get the association of a mixed devotee, you can only come up to the point of a mixed devotee. But that potential is there to be a servant of Krishna, to surrender oneself completely to Krishna, and to develop love of Godhead, and to develop, to progress, you can develop into, or to get a particular relationship with the Lord as a servant, as a friend, as a parent, as a lover. You can get a relationship with the Lord. That means this opportunity is there for everyone, all living entities. That potential is there. But for that to fructify, we need the association. So every time whenever you hear this line, that bhakti is already there in the heart of the devotee, wherever you hear in the purports, or wherever you hear this, you should understand in this way. Not that we were already there in the spiritual world, we had a relationship with the Lord, and then from there we fell down. Not like that. That is said to, just like when you say to small children, they don't understand the the intricates of higher mathematics. Then you say it in a simplified way, just to make them understand at that level. But then as they keep growing to higher grades, you introduce all the complex topics. Then it makes sense. However, so at that age, that's how you should explain. If you start explaining integers and rational numbers to a first grader, he'll just hate math for the rest of his life. He will never take to it. He'll be it's too complicated. You introduce those things when they come to 6th grade, and and then 7th, 8th, 9th grades, they learn the complex things. Like that, when somebody is brand new means he's coming, he is in this material world and he got the association of devotees. Initially, if you explain all these things, that you are all, at that time, for him to even to begin to take to Krishna consciousness in a simplified way, it is said, something which is understandable. And then the details are given later. So for them, it is said that, yes, you were there, and then you committed, you rebelled against the Lord, therefore now you are here. Like that, it is said. And then, oh, okay, it makes sense. So now, like someone who's put in the prison, and after he behaves himself nicely, he's released from the prison. Like that. Okay, makes sense. And then he will take to bhakti. And once he starts taking to bhakti, purification will start. And then he will be hearing Bhagavatam. Then the philosophy is explained further. Like that. So if somebody is understanding like that initially, point is to bring them somehow or other to surrender to Krishna. Once he surrenders to Krishna, then again, so what I'm saying is, initially it is explained like that. But the actual philosophy is this. This, when you tell to a new person, he won't be able to understand. So therefore, for new people, it is said in a simplified way. So whenever it is said, we shouldn't think that we were already there in the spiritual world and we fell down from there. There is no falling down after, because first of all, who will be there in the spiritual world? One who has love of Godhead only will be there in the spiritual world. After you get love of Godhead, why you will fall down? This material happiness is just so insignificant compared to the ocean of pleasure in love of Godhead. Why will someone look down to this insignificant, cheap material pleasure after experiencing love of Godhead? So it's not like that. So, but when these statements are said, this is how we should understand. So, Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu's philosophy holds that devotional service to Krishna always exists in everyone's heart. What does that mean? All living entities being the energy of the Lord, part and parcel of the Lord, The living entity is meant for the service of the Supreme Lord. So constitutionally, every living entity is meant to be a servant of the Lord. He is meant to be a servant of the Lord. It has the potential to be a servant of the Lord. However, it needs the association, and in that association, the mercy. When that comes, then. So in that association, what will happen? In the association of devotees, you will hear śravaṇaṁ-kīrtanam only will happen. So it simply has to be awakened by the process of śravaṇaṁ-kīrtanam viṣṇoḥ. Śravanādi shuddhe chitte koraye uday. So by Shravan Adi, that means Shravan, Kirtanam, etc., then your chitta will become purified. When a person is actually engaged in devotional service, his eternal relationship with the Lord. Now again, this point also you may get a question. So, but here it is said the relationship is eternal. That means he has always had a relationship with the Lord, maybe as a gopi or as a cowherd boy or something. We always have a relationship with the Lord, and that original relationship will be given to us. How do you understand this? In the spiritual world, there is no birth. It's not that now you will take birth and they are designing a new dress for you, a new body for you. There is no creation there. Spiritual world is eternal. It's always existing. Material world, there is birth, there is creation and annihilation. The body takes birth and again it is annihilated and like this. This is material world. In the spiritual world, there is no time. Time is there in the material world. Then what do you mean by creation and annihilation? All this does not happen. So then, when you come to the stage of bhava, you are awarded a body in the spiritual world. What does that mean? That means the body is eternally existing in the spiritual world. It's not that it is created, it is made, and then it is growing. No, that is material world. An eternally existing body is awarded to you. Now you can ask, how that eternally existing body is awarded to me? So who was there in that body before it is awarded to me? It is like, the way you can understand this is like you go to a showroom and there are these dresses already made, ready-made dresses. So one dress is given to you. Like that, these spiritual bodies which are eternally existing, that body is awarded to you. Beyond that, now if we try to understand the mechanics, how that is possible, because again, our mind is material. We can only accept whatever is given to us by Shastra. We cannot, by our logic, try to understand everything that's going on in the spiritual world and how it works. Main thing is, how things are working in the material world is explained to us. How to get out of here is also explained to us. And some information about the spiritual world is given to us. But everything about what's going on in the spiritual world, you will be able to understand with this mind? No. So, when it is said that this eternal relationship, right? You have an eternal relationship with the Lord means that body, which is awarded in bhava prema stages, that body is an eternal body. It is not born at a certain time. It is eternally existing in the spiritual world. That body is awarded to me based on my devotional service. The type of devotional service that I do and the type of devotional service I do depends on the association that I get, the spiritual master that I get, the association that I get. Then I follow in their footsteps. So if I'm following, we are all following Srila Rupa Goswami. So we can imagine, we can guess what type of bodies we will get when we are perfected, because we are following a Manjari, Srila Rupa Goswami, Sri Rupa Manjari. We are following in her footsteps. So when we get perfection, we can expect to get a body like that, like a servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of Sri Rupa Manjari, like that. So an eternal body in that relationship will be awarded to me. That is why that relationship is eternal, that body is eternal, like that. So beyond that, don't try to connect. So before I got this body, what was that body doing there? And, don't waste of time. You won't go anywhere. You won't get any conclusion, because spiritual topics, the spiritual world, transcendental topics are beyond my conception, because my mind is still covered by the material energy. How to get out of this is given. And some information is given to us about the spiritual world. Whatever is given, that much you accept it and put all your energy in getting out of here. Like that. Come out of the clutches of Mahamaya come under the protection of Yoga Maya. Once you come under the protection of Yoga Maya, things will be revealed to you. Everything will be clear. And while you are in the clutches of Mahamaya, even if you break your head, you won't understand the dealings that are happening in the Yoga Maya. There's no use. When a person is actually engaged in devotional service, his eternal relationship with the Lord, the servant-master relationship is awakened. See, Srila Prabhupada is saying, when you're actually engaged in devotional service and you come to that stage, it will be awakened. All the truths, how things are happening, everything will be revealed. I mean, this is a common thing, common sense. Even in the material world, it's the same thing. If a small child asks the mother about, Mama, how are children born? What will you explain? How much will you explain to a small child? You will tell some simplified version, something, and to satisfy the child. But the same child, when the child grows up and becomes an adult, that person, now grown-up person, will understand how children are born. Like that. So now we are like those small children. We cannot understand the details of spiritual, how things are happening. Even if somebody told, still we won't understand. But when we grow, automatically, when we come to that stage, when we advance in devotional life by performing devotional service, those details will be understandable. So there is no need to go into those details and break our heads now. We should work on our level now, which is we need to get that faith in bhakti, in Krishna, by hearing Bhagavatam. That's all we should do now. And whatever little is explained, according to our level, whatever is given to us from Shastra, from Guru, that much we'll take. And we will travel from where we are currently. So with that, I'll stop. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Such a wonderful class. Thank you so much.
Śrī Caitanya
Mahāprabhu ki jai.
Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Gaur ki jai. Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.